My name is Alick, and I run a agency called Miggle. We're a team of 11, and we are specialists in designing and building content management solutions in Drupal, which deliver operational freedom to a range of clients. Who are there? So forgive me, I'm going to read from my notes. That's the one thing that will ensure that I'm out of here in 5 minutes and not still standing here in 15. So what I'm going to tell you is that all of your staff are going to leave. And so for anybody who finds that a frightening thought, I'll just reassure you that all of your staff are going to leave. It's a bit of an inevitability. It's what the Dalai Lama would call the nature of impermanence. Nothing stays the same forever. So, if they are going to leave, why would that be? So I always think about what made me want to leave past jobs that I've had. Poor management, uninspiring work and conditions were often key. So I decided to focus on not letting those be concerns within my business. So when Miggle started out 10 years ago, we could only really afford to hire people who were at the beginning of their careers. And I reasoned that the best new hires would have a level of ambition that surpassed just working at Miggle. So I decided that it was key not to just understand that, but to play to it as well. So I'd always tell every new starter that they shouldn't plan on being with us for any more than 18 months, 2 years tops. And it's within that time the business had grown to match their own ambition. I think that people generally move on because they want to get on. So I make sure that I have a clear and shared understanding of what each team member's professional and personal goals are, and then make sure that those are focused on in one-to-ones and reviews. So, if they are going to leave, why bother investing in them? Well, I reckon that if you employ more than 2 to 3 people, the chances are that salaries make up the largest part of your expenditure. So at Miggle, 85% of our expenditure is on salaries. So really, it's a no-brainer to invest in your people. So here are a few of the things that I've tried as part of that. I always give as much clear direction as I can, and I always try to make as much time as possible as required for people, usually as often and as quickly as they need it. I give employees a self-directed development budget. We offer £900 a year, and then regularly ask the team how they intend to use that to support their goals. And what I've found as well is that putting that money aside each month to fund the development budget actually kind of gives you a little bit of a cash reserve too, so it's quite useful in that respect. We also assign some time for research. We call it our 10% time, but it's conditional on getting some kind of output from it, like a blog post or a small video demo, something like that. To be honest, we found getting the output has been quite tricky, and also the time that I put aside for that was on Friday afternoons. But actually what we found is that sometimes the opportunity for R&D kind of better presents itself at other times during the week, and that can sometimes be a bit difficult to manage. So just for the moment, we've had to kind of put that initiative on hold until we can work out how to structure the time better and actually kind of process the output more effectively. So if your staff are going to leave, talk about that from the outset. So I found that it's good to be open and honest about talking about what sort of job or company comes next. It can help spot opportunities, it helps team members crystallise their own goals and make them realistic, and it also gives you both a roadmap for development. I think this is really important because there will always be team members who would be better off somewhere else, but very often they need to be able to see that for themselves. I've often found that some people who leave Miggle go on to get really great jobs elsewhere, and I get a lot of personal satisfaction from that. And often they can become great customers as well, which is also a bonus. So if they are going to leave, let them know why you want them to stay and what you'll do to enable that. So as well as wanting to get on, I think that people also leave because they think that they're going nowhere. So I found it pays to be open with my plans, and it also pays to be open about the wrong calls that you make as a boss, of which there are often quite many. So as we've grown and won the right to do better and more challenging, higher profile work, I've always made sure that this is adequately rewarded in terms of benefits and salary and praise and celebration of success. I set clear and published criteria around how pay rises and bonuses are calculated. I tie that to people's goals and reviews and focus on them in one-to-ones. When I promote people, I set clear goals and objectives as to what success in that promoted position looks like at least 6 months in advance. So if they are going to leave, build yourself an insurance policy. Don't lose someone only to find out that the package that you had them on makes them irreplaceable. Understand their value and let them know it. It's better that they leave as stars so that you can replace them with stars. I haven't yet been hurt by that myself, but I've seen other companies that I've hired from struggle to find an adequate replacement because of how they value that employee. So, has this approach been successful? So in 10 years of running Miggle, I've had one employee for 9 years, I've had another for 8, and on average, people stay for just under 4 years. Of course, none of them stay forever, but I'm more than happy to be part of their journey for that period of time. Personally, it's what I get most of my job satisfaction out of, and I find it the most rewarding thing in my role. Thank you very much.